Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Agnelina and today I'm here with my 8th knitting podcast episode. It's been a while, so I have a lot of things to show you. Some finished objects, some work in progress, and one really special acquisition for me. Maybe for everyone else it's nothing that special, but it is for me. I'm Lithuanian, currently living in Norway. I live together with my fiancé. We have 2 lovely chinchillas. I'm a software engineer and I guess that's it with giving background about me. Let's talk about knitting. So first I want to present what I'm wearing. I'm wearing, I call it Oriana tee. It was my improvisation design. It's not written, it's not a pattern yet. Maybe in the future. I a little bit doubt, can I do it? Can I write, understandable English language instructions? Because calculations, they don't scare me. Language scares me a lot. So yeah, I filmed a vlog knitting this top, but I didn't edit it. So in the future, most likely it'll appear. I think it's interesting, to show people at least one person's way of designing themselves a top, working, frogging, what happened. I think it could be, I don't know, entertainment at least video. But yeah. So I knitted this from YarnArt Summer yarn. It is 70% mercerized cotton and 30% viscose, if I'm not mistaken. And mercerized cotton, I googled, and that means that this cotton shouldn't grow, which is really nice. But at the same time, I don't know if I like cotton or not, because this didn't grow, this top. After washing, and I even washed it once already in the washing machine, and it's arrived perfectly. This is really comfortable, perfect top for me, and I designed it for myself mostly. I call it Oriana tee, and I think it is in Italian meaning like sunrise, dawn, I don't know. I'm not sure, I forgot. But the idea was like new beginnings, a little bit on the sunset or sunrise color, and I thought that sunrise and beginnings, just I was looking for a word meaning that in some language which sound nicely, so I found it, I think. And I named it Oriana tee. But yeah, I love this top, and it was my first time knitting and improvising this shaping. I knitted it a little bit like a raglan, but not fully raglan, because I just what I mean by raglan, that I didn't knitted this in separate pieces. I started and I just went round and round and round. At first not in round, but for the neckline. But I was going back and forth without, knitting or picking up stitches for the sleeves. So I quite enjoy this. I think probably Petite Knit Poppy tee has similar construction, at least what I hear from the people talking. But yeah, it was interesting to figure out how to knit it, and I quite enjoy it. Most likely I will repeat it at some point. And it was my first also time doing this I-cord edge, and I quite like it. Love it how it turned out. Sometimes I think maybe here it's like half holish looking, but otherwise I think it went really well. I think I was expecting that I will need to go down needle size, but I was so, I don't know, trying to secure it and knitting not as loosely maybe as I knit otherwise. So use the exactly same 3mm needle size for main knitting and I-cord edge. I really wanted to try out picot edge. Now I think I may like maybe simple folded edge better, but my friend said, oh, it looks so beautiful, and I was, oh, thank you, because I think that it's a little bit too much, and I like that simple look. And yes, I have folded simple hem on the bottom. At first I was thinking to introduce maybe more lacy detail here, and also introducing the picot edge, but then I decided try the third new finish on this top and just do the folded hem. I finished this top I think just a few hours before we left on our vacation to Rhodes Island, and it was amazing. It was still a little bit wet, damp, when I took it to the plane. I didn't wear it. but it was my favorite top I took on that vacation, and I really loved wearing it. It was so easy to put it on. It felt like I could wear with my shorts, my jeans, and etc. And yeah, it is perfect length for me, at least. It may be a centimeter longer, but it is not too short that I don't pull up down every single time. It's not too long. And yeah, I added body shaping because I wanted that this top would follow my body. I didn't want to be squished as a sausage, you know, with a lot of negative ease. But I don't like this oversized baggy things because my measurements are different by 20 centimeters, my bust measurement and my waist measurement. And in some cases, when I was trying to sew something, I noticed that it's two different sizes. One size is, you know, this waist, and you know, my bust is in a baby bigger size, you know, waist is on the smaller size, and I always struggle finding clothes who fit, who just neither hide nor, you know, exaggerate my body, you know, don't. Yeah, so I think I really reached by it, and this is one of the main reasons I would like to write a pattern, just so I may help people who wants also achieve similar look, body shaping, just to help them. And the next finished object is actually crochet, and I crocheted a mini teddy bear. It was my Rhodes Islands trip project. I thought that it will not take a lot of space. I was using leftover yarns, really scraps, and I was putting inside of this teddy bear or all the snippets of yarn, so it was really good snippety snap, not snippety snap. So it was really good leftover yarn project with leftover pieces inside. And yeah, I bought this years from the last time I was making an order because I knew that I want to knit something else, and it's so small and so cute, and I decided that I will never ever want to give it to somebody else. And I thought that his name will be from the island I created it, so it will be like we see it in Lithuania, I think, just so instead of Rhodes it will be Rhodas. So yeah, this is my Rhodas teddy bear. I improvised him, and by accident I make the head tilt when I was attaching it, and I just left it. It is maybe my third or fourth amigurumi. I totally improvise it, and yeah, I just decided that I can do it and improvise in further. So continuing on my other working projects, I will show you again shortly. I am making, I started this in Vilnius, so I thought it will be maybe Vilna in Lithuania. But I think I have all the pieces, not all the pieces, I have all 2 hands, 2 legs, 1 tail, and I started crocheting body, but I thought that, you know, the head is most interesting one to show as crochet in progress because it's just really a lot of pieces. And this one is knitted with acrylic yarn I had in my stash in Lithuania from older days when I was doing something, and I stuffed it with more professional stuffing, so this teddy bear should be able to survive washing machines, I think, and I may even gift this teddy bear. And I guess I was following, even if the crochet sizes are different, I was trying to make it, you know, almost the same size so they could be friends, but then I put the lips a little bit too low, and then I decided that I can gift it. It can be a gift, and I can make Rhodas another friend in another time with another yarn, maybe the yarn I like more, but yeah, that looks strange. But yeah, that looks cute. So that, yeah, it's really, I don't know, not really knitting connected, but it was really fun and small things to use up things, so decided to show you. And you know, we appreciate yarn in all forms. But yeah, when I was knitting this top, I bought last year 4 balls of that yarn, and I think 1 ball was 1 gram 350 meters, so 2 balls was 700 meters, and for this one I used, I think, 808 meters. So I wouldn't be able to knit a second top like this, and so I started knitting broken rib tank top, but I like shoulders to have, you know, shoulder sleeves, small sleeves, And I don't actually like that much having open shoulders, because my mom in all my childhood when we were going to the seaside was saying, bring clothes to hide your shoulders because you will be in the sun, you will most likely get burned, and you know, shoulders burn really easily. Hide shoulders, hide shoulders. So for summer knits, I want to hide my shoulders because this is what I was trained to do in the summertime. So when I started this, I decided to ask my friend, maybe she wants it, and she said yes. And at first I was thinking, oh, this is way simpler, you know, pattern, I may, you know, write a pattern for it. But then at some point I don't know, should I do it, should I not? Yes, it's really simple broken rib fabric, and my friend, which is nice, she has different taste, so she didn't need the sleeves, and she didn't even wanted it to be shorter, you know, like almost a little bit like more sports bra, but a little bit more like in between top and sports bra. So now I'm just waiting for her to say what her preferred length is, if she can, you know, send me measurements. Otherwise I think I will finish it here, because when I was in Lithuania I measured it and it was next to this safety pin, and it was still too short, and we said, you know, around this much longer should it be, so it's around that much longer. So now, yeah, I just sent to her, can you just measure your favorite, you know, summer top, you know, the style top length you like from this armpit hole down, you know, so I would have another guess. Maybe I add, you know, a few more lines or not. But yeah, I'm ready to cast it off just when I decide how long it is. But sadly, I didn't finish it in Lithuania when I was visiting, and now she will have to wait for Christmas, but I have a Christmas gift for my friend. So it's really nice. I added a little bit of waist shaping after, you know, the boobs a little bit to cinch in, but I added on the sides as I like to do in my other knits, where I didn't add any, you know, boob space, and when I started it for myself I was using a little bit of negatives, and when I tried it on myself it was a little bit too much. So yeah, and it is a little bit what was funny, I was planning and planning, and then it came up a little bit higher neckline than I was expecting for this one. For this I think it went perfectly, and for this I was, oh, it will be two-sided, one side, you know, will be a little bit more modest maybe neckline, and no more fun on the back, and you know, you can reverse it. This is why it doesn't have bust shaping. So it could be reversible, but actually, you know, this lower side is not enough lower, at least for my taste. But yeah, she likes to dance, so, and create, you know, dance videos, so for her, you know, secure zones, it's way better than, you know, a little bit too deep, and then, you know, and boob, no, bra straps showing, or bra, you know, sports bra showing, so it may be, you know, perfect for her. At least I hope that she likes. Because one other thing of giving this top is that I don't need the same color top, I know, even in two different styles. It's a little bit redundant, and it's way more fun to match your friends, you know, the same top you made. It would be really nice. And another thing why I chose broken rib was that I'm a little bit, I still like stock knit stitch, but I wanted something more interesting to knit on. So yeah, this is why I chose broken rib stitch, and I was hoping, but I'm now waiting for a block that knitting in broken rib stitch, so I don't need to add any I-cords or any other ribbings around the edge, because, you know, I have, you know, those two stitches of broken rib is just like a little bit garter, so it shouldn't rotate, but it rotates a little bit more than I was hoping. But maybe blocking will help. If not, I may add something, but for the simplicity for now, I'm just leaving as it is without any ribbings. And I didn't like this construction. The main reason why I didn't like this construction was because I needed to cut yarn. I don't know why, but I hate cutting yarn. and you know, making those, you know, small triangles, and then, you know, attaching at some point. I had to cut it so many times, and didn't like it, and of course I needed that at least once to fix it. So it was a little bit more things to secure those loose ends later on. I forgot, I'm sorry. I forgot the word. Since the top was almost done, I just need to decide on the length, and I was waiting for my friend. She said, oh, maybe in 2 days I will be able, she was not at home, I can, you know, go home and measure a few things. But yeah, when I will decide, I will just cast it off, so not so much knitting left, or add, you know, a few more centimeters, so a few more rows. So since the top is sort of done, I just need to cast it off, or add a few more rows and cast it off. I started knitting, but at the same time I wanted something simple. I started knitting a hat. I think this is my first ever hat. But yeah, the idea is to knit it similar as Musselburgh hat, because I needed inner layer. Of course, I live in Norway, so winters are quite cold and we need warm hats. But it's also that, for example, I have really sensitive skin, and when I chose this Viking Garn Reflex yarn, because it has reflex, this thread which works like reflecting light. I don't know the word in English, I think. So I just know in Lithuania, in the winter time, it's really dark, and if you want the cars would see you, you need to have those reflective thingies, and this has the thread of it. So I'm not sure if it is seen on the camera or which angle, you know, to show you, because sometimes I see, and I chose the gray yarn. The black was out of stock when I was buying, and I chose the gray yarn, so it wouldn't be as marble effect, because that reflective thread is quite grayish. But when I was buying, I was expecting this light gray color be more light gray, more like this light gray color. But it is woolen, and I'm really sensitive for my hats for wool, and I decided to knit for my boyfriend too, and he also doesn't think, I don't think that he has, he's insensitive to the wool, and especially on the hat when it's scratchy. I remember once I bought a hat because I thought, oh, it's so nice, I think it was with more hair, and I thought, oh, you know, it's totally fine, I can wear it. 2 minutes later, I couldn't I couldn't keep it on my head. It was so itchy around my head. So even if now when I'm touching it, just, oh, I may tolerate it, but I'm not sure. So this is when I was buying the yarn, I decided I need to make an inner layer, and I chose this Viking Garn Bamboo yarn, because they have same stitch count for the same needle size. Place recommended, so I decided if I will knit looser on this yarn, maybe I will knit looser on this yarn too. But it is 50% bamboo and 50% cotton, so yeah, bamboo. And so this is beautiful color, and when I'm knitting this, I feel like this is boring. I think gray looks nice sometimes, and I think my boyfriend suits cool tone colors. I think I suit more warm tones and he suits cool tones, so I think it would be really nice, probably hat on him. But when I'm knitting it, this color, I think it even has some variegations. It's not, or it doesn't. So I think a place, yeah, maybe I see reflexive yarn, thread and something like that. It's not really plain, but it's still so gray and so boring. I don't think that I would ever buy gray yarn to knit, unless it's more like this. Because, I don't know, this is happier. It's a little bit shiny. It's almost white. I like white color. I was expecting like dirty white, not this gray. I thought that it is the not light gray. I think it's like normal mid-tone gray, not dark gray, but yeah. But yeah, so I think it will be nice. So I started it knitting. So yeah, I need an inner layer from that more comfortable yarn. So I decided to knit Musselburgh typed hat. I didn't like Musselburgh top, so I changed it. because I didn't like that cross, and I think Petit Snit's Oslo hat also had this cross, and I don't know why. I don't like it. I didn't want to do it, so I decided to make it. And this was a little more like, you know, sun going in all directions. But I more maybe prefer straight lines, which I wasn't that able to get because I think it's natural how they increases. Increased it evenly on the same spot every time, so it does this naturally. But I think it's still beautiful, still nice. And yeah, it was interesting. I was knitting it with magic loop, especially in the beginning, and now I still continue knitting in the magic loop because I think I could change to the smaller circumference wire. But even that, I think, would stretch out the knitting quite a lot. Maybe not that much, because I like squish stitches, because I don't know, it knits easier a little bit for me. Maybe I can, because this looks quite stretchy enough. But yeah, I thought that it is hilarious how it looks like now, because I feel like I put the pot on my head, how it looks like now. But yeah, so I think it will be really nice hat. And now I'm thinking, I didn't do it too wide, but then again, there is more layers. And then I asked my boyfriend, because I decided that first hat should go to him, because he lost his winter hat one of the last times he needed it this winter, and he said, "Oh, you promised me a new hat." So I just knit it before winter. And when I asked him, what style do you want? Do you want, folded brim, or how it's called, or not? And he said make it as warm as possible, so I think it will be 4 layers. And I'm thinking, since I want this reflexive yarn to be as much out, because in the Trondheim in winters it's really dark. Sunrise in December is around 10 o'clock in the morning, and sunset is around 2:30. So when you're leaving for work, going back home, or just doing anything, and even in the daytime the sun is so low, and usually it's so cloudy that you don't even sometimes notice that the day come or pass, so it's almost always dark. It's so difficult to wake up in the mornings. Okay, that was a little bit of tangent, but yeah, I will knit, it will be warm, hopefully it will be nice. Now I was just thinking, oh, I almost wear it, so could I wear it without inner layer or not? But yeah, when I was buying, I decided to buy just in one color, so because I was unsure how much yarn I will use. And this was first ball now on my hat, and this yarn is 50 grams, 84 meters, so it's not that much. And the recommended needle size, which I'm knitting on, is 3.5 millimeters, and they said that you should expect 22 stitches. I think I'm a looser knitter, because I got, and not because this time, but I think I am a little bit looser knitter, so I got 20 stitches, which is really nice for calculations, because if you want to get centimeters from 20 stitches in 10 centimeters, you just divide by 2. So it's so nice. But yeah, it will be nicer. But yeah, I bought, I think, 6 balls of this yarn, expecting 2 balls go into one hat, so I can knit 3 hats. For me, myself. For me, my fiancé, and my brother. But if I just knitting them hats, I can knit myself more exciting hats, because I decided that I don't want gray color. Or gift maybe father a hat instead of myself, because apparently I'm not the biggest grey color lover. But moving on, it's a project bag too. And the last thing is really special. I bought my first ever hand-dyed yarn, and they're even more special than that. So of course, at some point I get to know that hand-dyed yarn exists, and say what you want to say, but it is quite special and really beautiful. I still don't know if this is my cup of tea, but I decided that I want at some point to try and get to know, is it my cup of tea or not. When I decided to buy this really happy yellow color. It's like sunshine with a little speckle. So I thought it is playful, happy, but at the same time also not all colors of the rainbow. Yeah, so I knew that at some point in my life I will want to buy hand-dyed yarn, and I was thinking that I will not buy USC yarns because of the taxes and shipping, and it's just too complicated. I started looking a little bit in European hand dyers, to Norway, but I didn't find anything really special, and I just, oh yeah, some I think I found they're beautiful, but are also expensive, so I decided, yeah, one day I will buy it, most likely. And then one YouTuber mentioned that she was in some yarn convention in Europe and she bought a Lithuanian hand-dyed yarn, and just Lithuanian? Tell me more, because of course there could be people, but there are just 3 million people in Lithuania. Okay, now it's less than 3 million people in Lithuania. So of course there are people who enjoy knitting and etc. But how many people, you know, in the population, you know, dyes yarn? So I was really excited to find that this is Apmezga yarn. I will leave, of course, the website below. And yeah, it was amazing. When I found them, I decided that they will be my first ever hand-dyed yarn, you know, to try learn, do I like it at all or not. And then when I was on Lithuania and we were going towards seaside, because I'm from, my parents from capital, from Vilnius, and this hand dyed is based in Kaunas, and I visited their webpage so many times before, but I was never sure, you know, should I, shouldn't, it costs. Then I decided I will go and I will check them out in live, in person, and they have really, of course, a small shop with a lot of beautiful yarns. And I stayed there, and the woman was really nice and really friendly and talked. I was with my friends. She talked in English with my friend while I was looking in all her beautiful yarns, and I decided that I totally have to buy it. And then I was looking at a lot of yarns. I didn't know what to choose, and I just decided to pick up this beautiful sunshine color with those brown speckles, because I think it will be so beautiful, so happy. As I said, that gray color is just boring, and I think this will be really exciting. And then I was knitting this beginning, and all these, you know, spirally things, I just, oh, imagine this one in the head. Of course I bought sweater quantity, but I expect to have some leftovers. So imagine this beautiful yellow color in this pattern. I want sweater from this. I'm thinking about a circle sweater. I was even thinking maybe to add a little bit like lines, like a little bit like a sunshine. Maybe it's too much. But so I decided probably it will be a circle yoke sweater, or raglan. But I think circle sweater would be a little bit more beautiful than raglan. Even raglan is so simple to knit. And that would be way more easier, because I'm thinking of improvising it. This is why, you know, maybe should I add, you know, a little, like, you know, sunshine, sunbeams. I think Petit's knit Sunday sweater is in a way close to what I may want to knit, but sometimes I never liked the line where those the ribbing ends, because those between, then the pearls become knits. I think like it gives a little bit too strong edge than I like. So either if I would knit that, I would just knit, you know, fully ribbed, or just include like more subtile more subtile, you know, some beans. I think now I remembered that one knitting podcaster, now I didn't know who, and she found one sweater she wanted to knit, and it was, you know, half a year ago. I don't remember who showed whose pattern was, but I remember she said that it was not on sale anymore. It was like I think that pattern was more about like raindrop, so they have, you know, those prolonged stitches and like, you know, going back. And I thought that the same pattern would work, maybe especially on the top, like small those prolonged stitches to make like a sunshine, like get dry as a sunshine. But yeah, that pattern that girl said was not for sale anymore. And she was thinking, do I have to, you know, redesign it myself or not? So even if I want I know that there's no pattern for it, but it could be what I will try to knit. I don't know, but I think this is the most happiest color ever. So yeah, just to be safe than sorry, I bought 4 hanks. They're not balls. Oh yeah, I have no Swift. So I think when I decided to knit with this yarn, which if I knit it before Christmas, I can buy one more sweater quantity for myself for Christmas, because I most likely go to Lithuania for Christmas. But yeah, so I will have to do it all by hand, and I think it will be interesting. So if I will knit, I think I will do it in vlog style, at least, you know, vlog my my journey of knitting this yarn, and it was so happy. And that day I didn't know how I will need this, you know, happiness and positivity, because I borrowed my stepfather's old car. He went to Bulgaria with my mom and my brother for vacation, because I was the bad one. They bought tickets in November, and my mom sent me a letter when she was off Lithuania. And then I forgot about it, and I bought tickets, of course, for almost the same week, or it was one of the weeks they were off. But yeah, I got the car to drive, and then in the middle of the road on the highway, it broke. And yes, it was not the most pleasant day. It was such one of the more strange days, which I'll always remember. So apparently, first time I bought hand-dyed yarn, I had car broken in the middle of the highway, and it had to be towed. So that was quite memorable day, I would say. Memorable Monday. Of course, Mondays, when they are nice. But yeah, and I also got my first ever actually stitch marker, because before now I always use safety pins to mark, so this is my only non-removable. I was trying to use it for the head, but since I was still using magic loop method, I didn't need it to mark the beginning and end, because that magic loop marked beginning and end. But maybe if I will try to put on smaller circumference wire, I may add this one, because it will be fun. But I marked the first stitch, so I also would know which one of those 8 repeats was the first. Yeah, I may not need, but I really love it. Or I'm so used to knitting without stitch markers, or mark not that much, so I never bought them. But yeah, that's it, I guess. I love it. Oh, I forgot to mention that this is 100% superwash merino wool, and 100 grams is 400 meters. It's fingering weight. Is it? For a moment I thought that I saw that dialogue is 22, not 21. I'm just 22? Why? They are not the same now, 21? Just same dialogue. Good. Or the color code. But yeah, I guess they are the same. But I still will need to switch or knit with 2 skeins at once. And they are 100 grams, 400 meters, 100% superwash merino wool. And they're soft, and they're nice, and they're beautiful. I cannot wait to knit with them. But at first I think I will start knitting cardigan I planned, because last year when I was in Lithuania, I borrowed from my mom's black cardigan with my dress, and I thought that I need a black cardigan. And especially in autumn time, I thought that, oh, I would still be able to wear this dress in this weather if I would just have some cardigan to put on it with. So yeah, I think it's time for me to start knitting that, and maybe, you know, to have a little bit more time to think about the design for my sunshine set. I think in Norway on Easter time is time to knit with yellow color. And I hope that this fits me, this color. But yeah, I thought that its warm yellow should suit me, and it's so happy. Probably I mentioned happy way too many times talking about this color, but it's true. I love it, and that is most important. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.